Morning guys, from Douglas on the Isle of Man, and what a fantastic morning it is too. The sun is out, it's going to be a lovely day hopefully, and there's loads of stuff to do here as well. I've just been walking along the promenade. They've got the electric railway, the tramway if you like, which is just down there. I'm going to try that in a bit. We've got the horse-drawn trams, we've got the steam railway, we've got the Snaefell Mountain Railway, we've got the Grudel Glen miniature railway, with all sorts of stuff. Too much to mention now, but I'm going to try and do as much as I can. So why don't you come with me? We're going to, like I said, we're going to nip onto the tram in a little while, hopefully, and just sort of see where we end up. I think that's probably the best plan for today. Enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in a bit. Cheers for now. Okay, well I started out with a rough plan to walk as far as the trams, then get on the next one heading east, and just see what happened after that. Now, officially known as the Manx Electric Railway, it has been operating trams along the eastern coast of the Isle of Man since 1893. Now, if you use Douglas as your starting point, the railway is at the far end of the promenade, where westbound trams terminate at Derby Castle. Note the building here, which serves as a bit of a ticket office and a mess room for the drivers. Now, it's hard to describe what kind of style it's built in, Hobbit style. But yeah, if you've got any idea, then please let me know. But it is replicated in other buildings along the route, as you'll see a bit later on. The tram itself is beautiful, isn't it? Tram number 5, this one, dating all the way back to 1894 and still in service today, which is a real testament to the builders G.F. Milnes from Birkenhead. Note the clock on the gantry post here, by the way, indicating the time of the next departure. There is a large depot here at Derby Castle where the trams undergo regular maintenance and cosmetic alterations such as repaints. There is also a small museum and a separate booking office, which was the one in use on the day of our visit. The Manx Electric Railway also connects here with the Douglas Bay Horse Tramway, which dates back even further than the tram, having operated along the seafront since 1876. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have time to use it on our visit, but again, it's another historic transport option you may wish to try during your stay. Right, so anyway, it's time to board our tram. You can get on at either end, and in doing so, you walk directly past the cab area, which is also the same at both sides. Now, I've got no idea what any of this stuff does, to be honest, but yeah, I'd love to have a go at driving one, I must admit. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Now, just look at this interior, absolutely stunning, isn't it? Car number 5 is known as a tunnel car because of its long and sleek interior. It originally had longitudinal seating, but that was swapped out in 1932 for the 2-1 configuration transverse reversible seating and midway partition that you see today. Capacity on these beautifully upholstered seats is 32, and yeah, just look at the wood panelling and the roof. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It was pretty quiet today, and I thought I'd sit at the front on the single seat so I could watch the driver doing his thing. It wasn't long before he arrived in the cab, and we started off at quite a leisurely pace, which would continue throughout the journey. Now, in terms of the route itself, as I said earlier, the MER runs roughly along the east coast of the island between Douglas and Ramsey. Well, it takes approximately 1 hour and 10 minutes to cover the 17 3/4 mile route, which is what do you think, about 15 miles an hour tops, something like that. And anyway, in this video I'll be covering the trip as far as Laxey, where we'll be getting off and taking a trip up to Snaefell on another tram. And note that each of the poles here has a number. If you're interested, there are 902 poles in total. You will also note that the line is double track. It runs alongside the road for the first few miles, then into segregated countryside, all the way to Ramsey pretty much. There are a large number of level crossings en route, and necessitating a loud blast on the horn each time. You will also see black and white curbing here, which I thought must have been related to the motorbike racing, but then the TT course doesn't come as far east as this, so I'm not sure why it's here. Again, if anybody can help, then please let me know. We cross the A2 main road here, just on the outskirts of the parish of Lonan, and that brings us into Bouldreen with its gorgeous little station here. Now, I counted 69 stops on the route, including the 2 endpoints, and there were some fantastically named little halts like Fairy Cottage, Rome's Crossing, and Crowville, to name but three. After Bouldering, we came to an unexpected stop in the middle of nowhere. Nobody was quite sure what was going on, but the driver and the conductor ended up walking back down the track to have a look. From what I can gather, at the top of the trolley pole is a grooved conductive wheel that connects to the overhead wire and provides power to the tram. This was a new wheel that needed time to bed in, and then it must have become disconnected somehow. But yeah, have a listen to the driver here, and let me know what you think.
They're not very high, and then it didn't tell us. So if you've got a new wheel on, you're supposed to do it gently.
Oh, until it wears
Until it
in.
wears the glue.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go, an interesting insight into the workings of a tram, I guess. Back underway, it wasn't long before we were approaching Laxey, where we would be alighting. Pole number 359 if you're interested. There's no excuse for missing the name of the station here either, is there?
Laxey.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Laxey is the interchange for the Snaefell Mountain Railway, and it's also home to the world famous Laxey wheel, the largest surviving original working water wheel in the world. Now it's a short walk up the road for that, but you can catch glimpses of it as you proceed up the mountain on the tram. The next tram was waiting for us just across the tracks, tram number 4. And note that these trams use bow collectors to transfer power from the overhead lines rather than trolley poles.
So you can show you some shots.
Again, it was another quiet ride passenger-wise, and we were soon underway, branching off across the MER tracks inland towards the mountain.
Welcome to Snaefell Mountain Railway. Your journey to summit will take about 30 minutes, taking you to the highest point in the Isle of Man. Summit is 2,036 feet above sea level and 620 meters.
Now, tram number 4 was built in 1895 by the same Birkenhead company that built the electric railway trams. In fact, all 5 trams currently in operation on the line, 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6, were constructed at the same time. Now you may be wondering what happened to tram number 3. Well, in 2016 it suffered a runaway from the Summit station and derailed just north of Bungalow station, which you'll see in a bit. Fortunately, the 30 passengers at the top hadn't got on, but the tram itself was totally destroyed. So yeah, I'm glad I only found out about this after I'd made it up and down without incident, to be honest. Anyway, there were just 3 stations on this 5.5 mile line: Laxey, Bungalow and Summit, and it'll take about half an hour to get to the top. Double track all the way. There is also a third rail in place known as the Fell system, which can provide extra traction and aid with braking when required. The Snaefell Mountain Railway only uses this system for braking on the steep sections, which can have an incline of about 1 in 10. So enjoy the views as we make our way towards the summit and the clouds, and I'll see you at the top. Okay, so we made it to the top, which was a relief. No, honestly, it was a really nice, safe trip. I mean, after the issue with the runaway tram, the line speed was reduced from 12 miles per hour to 8, so yeah, it's a very leisurely ride both ways, really. And as we disembarked, the driver was changing the points to enable the tram to descend on the right-hand track back down to Laxey. Now, the summit at this point was completely shrouded in cloud, so yeah, there wasn't that much to see, really. There is, however, a really nice cafe which was open at the time of our visit. Now, there was no point in hanging around outside trying to talk to the camera on this windy, cold afternoon, so I went inside for a warm and a coffee and some cake and some more cake. Then, no sooner had we sat down at our table than the cloud cleared, and just for a few spectacular minutes we were treated to the most amazing views of the island and beyond. Indeed, whilst Snaefell itself is only 620.9 metres above sea level, it is said that on a clear day you can see 6 kingdoms from here: England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, the Isle of Man itself, and last but not least, heaven. Maybe we had indeed experienced some divine intervention on this trip, because as the sun broke through the clouds we really did feel on top of the world, and it definitely made the journey so much better. But before long it was time to descend back down the mountain. Tram number 1 had arrived and we climbed back on board. It was nice to take in some of the views near the top we hadn't quite been able to see on the way up. The driver radioed ahead to the intermediate station, Bungalow, to let them know we were leaving the summit and how many passengers he had on board.
Snaefell Mountain Bungalow. Just leave the time, we've got 5 on.
Now arriving at Laxey. Change here for trams to Ramsey and Laxey. The station has cafes serve snacks, homemade cakes, tea and coffee, and there are also toilet and baby change facilities.
We once again crossed over the main road and the Manx Electric Railway tracks at Laxey, and after disembarking I took a minute to summarise the journeys and the overall experience. Cheers, mate. Right guys, that was the Snaefell Mountain Tramway, Snaefell Mountain Railway, and to get there I rode on the Manx Electric Railway. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that. In part 2 I'm going to be having a trip on the Great Laxey Mine Railway and hopefully the Grudal Glen Railway as well. So why don't you join me for that, and in the meantime thank you very much for watching and cheers for now. Right, okay, so yeah, we went down the road to the Great Laxey Mine Railway, but unfortunately it was closed, as was the Grudal Glen Railway, by the way. Yeah, so a word of warning, if you come here in October, you're effectively out of season for these 2 attractions. So instead, part 2 of this Isle of Man series will now be the Isle of Man Steam Railway, which was a really great trip, I can tell you. I'll also be telling you how much I paid to ride on all these historic heritage attractions, so yeah, I'll see you on that, and of course, because I had to put this bit in at the end, you'll get an extra cheers for now.